Hello, American Patriots. Are you a supporter of the Second Amendment? Are you a responsible gun owner? If so, then you know the day will come that you're going to need a trusted and qualified gunsmith. When that day arrives, I want you to contact the man that I trust with my weapons, Mr. Delaney Jackson, owner of Jumpin, Gunsmith, and Appraisal. Besides being a professional gunsmith, Delaney is a true American patriot. And, a little trivia for you, he's also the manager and guitar player for country music legend Mr. Mark Chestnut. So when the time arrives, take your weapons to the man who treats my weapons like they're his own, my trusted friend, Mr. Delaney Jackson at Jumpin, Gunsmith, and Appraisal. Contact information and website information is in the description of this video below. Thank you, and God bless.
I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic. I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, American Patriots, and welcome to another edition of the Douglas Ducote Show. You had many places to be tonight. It shows to be here with me, and for that, I am forever grateful. We're going to do things a little different tonight. I'm going to tell you the top leading stories, and then we're going to jump into something that I believe is well needed for American patriots to be up to date and in the know about something in our history. So bear with me. Let's get right into what I believe is the breaking story of the night. The images of Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, and Ilhan Omar seemingly pretending to be handcuffed earlier today as they were escorted away from the Supreme Court by police drew amusement and ridicule. Along with left-wing squad members like Representative Anita Presley and several other House Democrats, AOC and Omar joined an abortion rights protest by the Supreme Court that blocked traffic, leading to the Capitol Police taking to arresting them. Now let's stop for a minute and talk about what you can and what you can't do. What isn't peaceful protesting, okay? As we've seen too often in places like Ferguson, Missouri, Berkeley, California, Seattle, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. Oh, and Atlanta, Georgia, just to name a few. Peaceful protest does not mean you can go block traffic. Any street, doesn't matter. You can't do it. Your protest is now breaking the law. And that's what they did today in Washington, D.C. It does not mean you can set police cars and police departments on fire, as we've seen all too often. It does not mean you can set businesses or anything on fire for that matter. Peaceful protesting does not mean you can riot. It does not mean you can loot businesses. It does not mean you can attack police officers or anyone at all. It does not mean you can do damage to anything, period. Nowhere in our Constitution or in any of the laws of America does it give you the right to loot, burn, block traffic, impede on anything. Continuing, video caught AOC walking away with a policeman holding her and another protester's arm, smirking, with her hands behind her back in a typical handcuff pose. Yet, she wasn't handcuffed. At one point, she raised her fist to the crowd in solidarity, confirming she wasn't being constrained. Omar also could be seen in the video walking away from the protest with her hand behind her back in handcuff pose, despite not wearing any handcuffs. AOC particularly lit up Twitter, with the image went viral this evening as critics mocked her for seemingly playing up the drama of her encounter with law enforcement. Her pretending to be handcuffed is just spectacular, National Review's troll C.W. Cook tweeted. Is she pretending to be handcuffed? The National Journalism Center Beckett Adams reacted. This is too much. GOP flack Matt Whitlock wrote, so at AOC is a criminal insurrectionist who should be banned from federal office, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton said. The Washington Post, Dave Wiggle, fresh off some social media drama of his own last month, couldn't resist getting a rib into. Both AOC and Omar raised their fist in this clip. How stretchy are those handcuffs? He asked in a now deleted tweet, responding to the outrageous events that were happening. A Minneapolis TV reporter who said that staff had confirmed video of Omar in handcuffs. Well, I got news for all those that reported that they were handcuffed and taken away. They were not handcuffed. A smiling Omar also raised a fist near the end of the video, seemingly proving she wasn't either wearing handcuffs. Fox News Digital reached out to AOC's office for comment, but they did not return the call. The arrest didn't appear to be of particular stress to AOC, Omar, and their fellow street protesters. CNN's Edward Isaac Dover reported that some arrest lawmakers were in lieu of mug shots, being asked to pose with an officer and their ID for a photo. Many are treating these like fun celebrities, selfies with friendly officers. Omar tweeted out the video of her walking in pretended handcuffs and wrote, "Today I was arrested while participating in a civil disobedient action with my fellow members of Congress outside the Supreme Court. I will continue to do everything in my power to raise the alarm about the assault on our reproductive rights." Wow. You know, somebody actually tweets this for her because I don't think she knows what reproductive rights are. I don't think she knows what the Supreme Court does. If she did, she wouldn't be posting this crap. Repeating what I've already said for those that are too stupid to catch it the first go around. Peaceful protest, as we have seen all too often in places like Ferguson, Missouri, Berkeley, California, Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, and Atlanta, Georgia, just to name a few. Peaceful protest does not mean you can block traffic, AOC, Alejandro Omar, and Anita Presley, and all your minions that were there. It does not mean you can set police cars and police departments on fire. It does not mean you can set businesses or anything on fire. Peaceful protesting does not mean you can riot. It does not mean you can loot businesses. It does not mean you can attack police officers or anyone at all. It does not mean you can damage anything. Bottom line, none of you girls were participating in a peaceful protest. But Alejandro Omar hit the nail on the head by tweeting that they were participating in a civil disobedient action. Furthermore, the Supreme Court did not ban abortions in America, you stupid son of a bitches. They didn't do that. What are you protesting for? They simply placed it where it belongs, back to the states to make the decision to allow or not allow abortion. Bottom line, if you are in a red state and you would like to have an abortion, all you need to do to accomplish this horrible decision is walk, drive, bike, bus, plane, or taxi to a blue state. And then they will be happy to terminate your child all the way up to giving birth. That's right. We're not talking about weeks or a few months. People like AOC and Alejandro Mar, and for that matter, most of the Democrat Party, not all, want to have abortions legal up until the point of delivery. And I would think if some of them could get away with it, it'd even be after that. Progressive mega donor George Soros, you all know who that is, contributed $1 million to Texas Democrat gubernatorial nominee Beto O'Rourke's staggering fundraising haul last month. O'Rourke, who's challenged two-term Republican Governor Greg Abbott in November election, last week announced that he hauled in $27.6 million in fundraising from last February through June, topping Abbott by $2.7 million and shattering the existing record of fundraising in Texas. O'Rourke's campaign finance report was posted online on Tuesday, today, and indicates that Soros contributed $1 million. He issued that on June 23rd to the Democrat gubernatorial nominee campaign. Soros, the Hungarian-born American billionaire businessman, has been a prominent contributor to the Democrat Party candidates and causes for decades. The fundraiser came as O'Rourke, a former congressman from El Paso, Texas, who came close to ousting GOP Senator Ted Cruz in the 2018 Senate election before unsuccessful for the 2020 Democratic presidential nomination, on Tuesday launched a 7-week and 70-stop barnstorming campaign swinging in more than 65 counties across Texas. Among the first to spot the Soros donation to O'Rourke was Texas Tribune political reporter Patrick Civic. While O'Rourke topped Abbott in fundraising in the most recent reporting period, Abbott maintained a large campaign cash on hand, averaging $45.7 million, well ahead of O'Rourke's $23.9 million. That being said, to all of you that live in Texas, you better wake the fuck up and realize what the far left, Soros, is trying to do to your state. Now, that's the only two news stories I'm going to say tonight. Now we're going to jump into something a little different. Something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And finally, I have the opportunity to do it now. Let's talk about a few things. The United States Constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for common defense, promote the general welfare and security, the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do obtain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. The Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. The Declaration of Independence states the principles of which our government and our identity as Americans are based. Unlike the other founding documents, the Declaration of Independence is not legally binding, but is powerful. Abraham Lincoln called it a rebuke, and a stumbling block to training and oppression. It continues to inspire people around the world to fight for freedom and equity. The Bill of Rights. First, how did this happen? Writing the Bill of Rights, the amendments James Madison proposed were designed to win support in both houses of Congress and the states. He focused on rights amendments, ignoring suggestions that would have structurally changed the government. Opposition to the Constitution, many Americans, persuaded by pamphlets written by George Mason, opposed the new government. Mason was one of 3 delegates present on the final day of the convention who refused to sign the Constitution because it lacked a Bill of Rights. James Madison and other supporters of the Constitution argued that the Bill of Rights wasn't necessary because the government can only exert the powers specified by the Constitution. But they agreed to consider adding amendments when rectification was in danger in the key state of Massachusetts. Introducing the Bill of Rights in the first Congress, few members of Congress wanted to make amending the new Constitution a priority, but James Madison, once the most vocal opponent of the Bill of Rights, introduced a list of amendments to the Constitution on June 8, 1789, and hounded his colleagues relentlessly to secure its passage. Madison had come to appreciate the important voters attached to these protections, the role that enshrined them in the Constitution could have in educating people about their rights, and the chance that adding them might prevent its opponents from making more drastic changes to it. You see where I'm going with this? Rectifying the Bill of Rights, the House passed a joint resolution containing 17 amendments based on Madison's proposal. The Senate changed the joint resolution to consist of 12 amendments. A joint House and Senate conference committee settled the remaining disagreements in September. On October 2nd of 1789, President Washington sent copies of the 12 amendments adopted by Congress to the states. By December 15th, 1791, 3/4 of the states had rectified 10 of these, now known as the Bill of Rights. And sadly, as Americans, many haven't a clue what the hell's in it. And you should. Matter of fact, you should know this by heart, or at least know where to go to find it. The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. It spells out America's rights in relation to their government. It guarantees civil rights and liberties to the individuals, like freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom of religion. It sets rules of due process of law and reserves all powers not delegated to the federal government to the people of the states. And it specifically that the enumeration of the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or to spare others retained by the people. Number 1, the First Amendment. It provides several rights and protections to express ideas through speech and press, to assemble or gather with a group to protest, and to ask the government to fix problems. It also protects the right to religious beliefs and practices. It prevents the government from creating or favoring a religion. So let's stop for a minute right there. It provides rights and protections to express ideas through speech and the press, to assemble or gather with a group to protest. Once again, a peaceful protest is welcome by probably all Americans. I know the Republican Party welcomes peaceful protesting. I welcome peaceful protesting. But when your protests, such as those that have been conducted and we've seen over the past several years by Antifa and Black Lives Matter, just to name a few, and are now up in DC, members of Congress on the Democrat Party, taking to the street and blocking it. When these things happen, you're doing nothing more than wiping your ass with the Bill of Rights. And that is a crying shame. 2, the Second Amendment protects the right to keep and bear arms, and it shall not be infringed upon. Period. End of discussion. Stick a fork in that one. 3, the Third Amendment prevents government from forcing homeowners to allow soldiers to use their homes. Before the Revolutionary War, laws gave British soldiers the right to take over private homes. The Fourth Amendment bars the government from unreasonable search and seizure of an individual or their private property, which is something that you need to be aware of if you're ever stopped by law enforcement. Whether you're walking down the street, driving a car, a motorcycle, standing in your front yard, you need to know what your rights are. The Fifth Amendment provides several protections for people accused of crimes. It states that serious criminal charges must be started by a grand jury. A person cannot be tried twice for the same offense. That's double jeopardy. Or have property taken away without just compensation. People have the right against self-incrimination and cannot be imprisoned without due process of law, fair procedures, and trials. And that, the Fifth Amendment, you have seen our government push it literally to its brink and sometimes passing it up by eminent domain and taking away people's homes and property and not compensating them shit. The Sixth Amendment provides additional protections to people accused of crimes, such as the right to a speedy and public trial, trial by impartial jury, and criminal cases, and to be informed of criminal charges. Witnesses must face the accused, and the accused is allowed his or her own witness to be represented by a lawyer. And how many times have you seen that just shit on? The Seventh Amendment extends the right to a jury trial in federal civil cases. The Eighth Amendment bars excessive bail and fines and cruel and unusual punishment. The Ninth Amendment states that listing specific rights in the Constitution does not mean that people do not have other rights that have not been spelled out. And number 10, the 10th Amendment says that the federal government only has those powers delegated in the Constitution. If it isn't listed, it belongs to the states or to the people. I'll repeat that. The 10th Amendment says that the federal government can only have powers that are in the Constitution. And if it isn't listed, it belongs to the states or to we, the people. That is something that every American needs to be fully aware of. Let's talk about a few other things that our founding fathers set up for us. The Pledge of Allegiance was written in August of 1892 by the Minister Francis Bellamy, 1855 to 1931, birth and death. It was originally published in the Youth's Companion of September 8th, 1892. Bellamy had hoped that the pledge would be used by citizens in any country. In its original form, it read, "I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all." Then, in 1923, the words, "the flag of the United States of America," were added. At this time, it read, "I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all." In 1954, In response to the communist threat of the times, President Eisenhower encouraged Congress to add the words "under God," creating the 31-word pledge we say today. Bellamy's daughter objected to this adding, but it was done anyhow. Today it reads, and please say it with me: I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Section 4 of the Flag Code, the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. How many people know anything about that? Pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, should be rendered by standing at attention, facing the flag with the right hand over the heart. NFL players that make millions of dollars and want to take a knee, that also goes for baseball, basketball, you name it. When not in uniform, those in the military or anyone wearing headgear should remove any non-religious headdress with their right hand and hold it at the left shoulder, the hand being over the heart. Persons in uniform should remain silent, face the flag, and render the military salute. This has since been amended to allow military veterans to use the hand salute for the flag or the national anthem. The original Bellamy salute, first described in 1892 by Francis Bellamy, who authored the original pledge, began with a military salute. And after reciting the words "to the flag," the arm was extended towards the flag at a signal from the principal, the purports, in order ranks, hands to the side, facing the flag. Another signal is given. Every person gives the flag the military salute, right-handed, lifted, palm outward to align with a forehead and close to it. Standing those, all repeat together slowly: I pledge allegiance to the flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the words "to my flag," the right hand extended gracefully, palm upward towards the flag, and remains in this gesture till the end of the pledge, whereabouts all hands immediately drop to the side. The youth competition 1892, companion of 1892, shortly thereafter, the pledge was begun with the right hand over the heart, and after reciting "to the flag," the arm was extended toward the flag, palm down. Where have you seen that before? In World War II, the salute too much resembled the Nazi salute. So it was changed to keep the right hand over the heart throughout, or for those in the military or those that are veterans, to salute. And when it's over with, drop the salute. There are so many things that we as Americans need to be aware of. I can't stress enough that today's society, and it's been going on for quite some time now, years, we do not teach our youth our history. We do not teach our youth about pretty much anything except, well, hell. It was just told to me that in some states, Louisiana being one of them, that you can get all F's. You're still going to get a diploma and graduate because no kid left behind. That's right. It's become a point in America where you can go through school as a complete and utter idiot and learn nothing and still graduate with your class and get a diploma from high school. It started with, let's give everybody a trophy. Everybody gets something. No matter if you came in last, no matter what you did. Everybody gets the same thing across the board. We got to be equal. Silly shit like that cause boys to not become men, cause them to become wimps. And it's staggering to me to know what's happening, especially in places like out on the West Coast in California and Oregon and Washington State, and places like Massachusetts and New York, just to name a few, where we have allowed the far left to infiltrate our education system and try and turn our youth into basically little Nazis by lying to them and telling them things that are just not true. There is a huge effort going on right now in this country to change this flag. First, the Supreme Court allowed you to burn it, piss on it. Hell, you can even look on the internet and see a picture of a young black woman squatting down, taking a shit on the American flag. That's right. Just put it in your Google search if you want to see something disgusting. And there's nothing that can be done. The only thing that can be done to stop it is if, in that particular location, they did not apply first for a protesting permit, or in the case of burning the flag, a burn permit. Then those people can be arrested and charged. Otherwise, they're free to do whatever they want with the flag. Now, for those who think that's okay, I ask you to go to some place like, I don't know, anywhere in Central or South America and try and do that with their flag. I ask you to go to any Muslim country and try and do that with their flag and see how they treat you. We have allowed our children to be indoctrinated by far left liberals. This whole thing, for instance, about men can have babies, men can be pregnant. Now, there are, quote, people, humans that look like a male with a big old belly that actually happen to have a baby inside. That's right. But they leave off the small print. He was born a female with female sexual organs that were never removed. And then if he chops off his boobs and sews up whatever and adds to it whatever, grows facial hair, it doesn't matter what you do. Matters not. If you still have your female sexual organs, you're still a female. It all goes back down to our chromosomes, X and Y. It's pretty simple, my friends. A person born as a male is not capable of producing a baby. But yet, that's being forced down our throat. Even on our cell phones. That's right. There's a little emoji of a pregnant man. No, it's a pregnant woman. She can change her name from, I don't know, pick something, Lisa to Steve. It doesn't matter. Change whatever you want to change. Identify with whatever you want to identify with. If you want to identify as a freaking cap that goes on a water bottle. It's America. It's a free country. Identify as that fucking cap. But you idiots that are out there, especially in places like Berkeley, California, where we just recently had a professor testify in front of Congress that men can have babies. And if you say they can't, that means that you are transphobic, and you don't recognize that they exist. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. Utter bullshit. And she should have been escorted right the hell out of Congress with a swift kick in the ass to the street by a female security officer. Because this is nonsense. And that's what they're teaching our children. That's what they want our kids to believe. And right now, kids in elementary school and in junior high school and in high school are being taught that men can have babies. So much so that they're adding feminine products all across America to the male bathrooms in schools. Folks, those feminine products aren't for a man to shove up his ass. It's for a woman who identifies as a man that still has the female sexual organs, that started her period and needs them. It's simple biology. And sadly, the left refuses to acknowledge that. Instead, if anybody talks against it and calls it out for what it is and is honest and truthful, then we're the bastard idiots. We're the racist. We're the people that are homophobic and transphobic, and we hate gays and lesbians and queers, and this is just insanity on steroids. Our forefathers are turning over in their graves right now. To include, what I like to think of a lot, is the greatest generation I believe we ever had. The generation of those that fought in World War II. If those men and women could come back today and see the stupid shit that we're doing and allowing to happen, you know how much percentage these radical left-wing nut jobs actually have in our society? It's less than 1%. We're allowing 1% of the population to alter the other 99%. What the hell? And if you think it's not going to get worse, then you're not paying attention, because it's going to. It's going to get so stupid. It's going to be like a Saturday Night Live skit, 24/7, running on a loop. And it's never going to stop at that. There are so many things that our forefathers wanted for us. And it's all in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, our Declaration of Independence. Yes, treat everybody equally. I get that. But don't come up with some silly ass, far-fetched bullshit and try and shove it down everybody else's throat. And shame on those in the media that allow them to do it and give them the platform to preach their insanity, because that's what it is. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed that little spill on our forefathers' papers. I have to drive tonight to the other side of the state, which is about a 3-hour drive from where I'm at here in Lake Charles, to go assist my mother for the next few nights. So I probably will not be doing a show on Thursday because she has doctor's appointments on Wednesday and Thursday, and I believe Friday now. So I'll be dealing with that. That takes priority. So if you haven't already done so, please go to douglasducote.com, check out the website. Also, this channel on YouTube, please subscribe to it. If you're watching us on any of the other platforms that we broadcast tonight, thank you. I appreciate it very much. I hope that you will tune in on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the community section of my YouTube channel and on the Facebook page for the Douglas Ducote Show. I will always put in there in the event that I'm unable to do the show for whatever reason. And I put other things there too, whether it's personal or political or just funny. So check that out from time to time. Folks, have a blessed evening. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving in the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders and their families, our angel families, and our blue and gold star families. And I'll leave you with this. If you don't know what blue and gold star families are, or you don't know what angel families are, please look that up, because they need our support more than ever, because this administration is spitting on their loved ones' graves. And that in itself is a tragedy. Thank you. God bless you. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I'm out.